Good evening, it's welcome to the planning board meeting of September 16th, 2025. This meeting is being recorded. The first order of business is the minutes of the last meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 4. We got no 81P plans. Got a couple of minutes. Can we sneak 284 West Street in?
Sure. Gentlemen, do you mind introducing yourselves, just so I can get it for the minutes?
I'm Steve Antonelli.
Owner, operator?
We're LLC, so we're part owner.
Want handouts?
And I'm Matthew Bartlett.
Thank you.
How you doing, Michael?
TMAN Properties LLC.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the easel here on the hard copy versus the electronic on the screen. Proposed site. Gotta get my glasses. That's something new. All right, good evening, thank you. My name, for the record, is Mike Dean with DNL Design Group, here representing T-Man Properties, LLC. Their address is 293 West Street, Milford, Mass. Project, as you had just mentioned, is 284 West Street, the former tradesman. I think we're somewhat familiar with that site, and it's been a tavern for decades, and the building had caught on fire and has since been razed. In front of the planning board tonight is an amended site plan approval. This is following the granting of a special permit from the ZBA for the proposed use as a contractor's yard, which is allowed by special permit. That's why the site had to go through ZBA. Planning board has seen the project not that long ago through that ZBA process, where they had to prepare the recommendation to the ZBA, which was a favorable recommendation. So the project consists of a 36,599 square foot lot shown here. 284 West Street. West Street is shown here. Fisk Mill Road located there. As mentioned, the site has been previously developed and the structure was demolished following catching the fire. We'll be utilizing the existing septic system, which is shown in the back portion of the site. That's existing. And the existing well is shown up in this area here. So we will be utilizing those two components that exist now. The proposal is for the contractor's yard of a 4,750 square foot building shown here. The dimensions are 95 by 50 wide here. You can see that there's proposed parking along the front, 12 spaces along the front here. Adequate access in and around the building. This plan was revised today, adding the signage along the southern portion of the parking and property line in the general area here. That was requested by the fire department. That signage and no parking fire lanes and signage demarcation and signage along this area here to prevent parking so they can have access around the building. And that was a request of the fire department. The improvements associated with the redevelopment consist of closing the open curb cuts along West Street. Just if you flip this around, this is the existing condition, just quickly to show you what's there now. So you have this openness or open curb cuts along here, existing pavement, and that's where the existing building was located in the lighter color there. You'll see that the proposal now is to close that, add green space up in the front area with the proposed landscape and meeting the town zoning requirements for the landscaping. And then a curb cut located in here, better defined and set up across the street from the existing driveway. Set up from the existing driveway across the street shown here. There will be some stormwater added to the site along here, but this will be following under the redevelopment, under the Wetlands Protection Act redevelopment, and we do have to file with conservation as well. There's a wetland system shown here, and the 100-foot buffer zone shown here. So that work within that 100-foot buffer, we have to file a notice of intent with conservation. The numbers, this actually decreases impervious and pavement, creating the green space up in the front, reducing impervious areas by 4,382 square feet. The actual pavement, because of the difference in buildings and square footage, the decrease in pavement is over 5,000 square feet. Once again, introducing a stormwater first flush forebay here, which will capture the runoff from the pavement. The site drains generally from, north is up the page, from north to south. There's an auto body shop adjacent to it. The traffic flow and patterns should be improved by this tightening of the curb cuts along the front. And with that, I turn it back over to the board. Thank you.
Matt, you want to go over your
Sure.
comments?
So specifically, the applicant proposes a redevelopment of the site. The former tradesman tavern that was razed be destroyed by fire in 2021, as Mr. Dean already said. To construct a 50 by 95 warehouse and office building with associated parking on the subject property. Driveway and access along Route 140 frontage reflect the previously approved configuration. Results in only one driveway with the restoration of the remaining frontage to a curved landscape buffer as shown on the plan. Proposals a net decrease in impervious surface and improved stormwater runoff. Adequate off-street parking is provided. All other zoning requirements appear to be met. I said the planning board should consider to what extent the plan addresses the following conditions, which are right out of the zoning bylaw. And if you want, I could go through each of these and we could comment on them as we go.
Is there any that in conflict with the zoning bylaw, or they?
I don't think so, but tell you what, I'll read them, and if someone
Go ahead.
wants to hold it, then we'll come back to it. Internal circulation and egress are such safety is protected, and access via minor streets servicing single-family homes is minimized. Visibility of parking areas from public ways is minimized. Adequate access to each structure for fire and service equipment is provided. Utilities and drainage for the land which site plan review is sought will be adequate, and fire provisions meeting all applicable regulations are provided. Major topographical changes or removal of existing trees are minimized. There's really none to work with there. In abutting or existing residential streets, effective use is made of topography, landscaping, and building placement to maintain to the degree feasible the character of the neighborhood. And lighting of parking areas avoid glare onto adjoining properties. You don't have any concerns with any of those? Could you talk about lighting real quick? Is there going to be lighting?
Yes, the plan, the wall pack, the lights are typical, which would then, under this approval, would not be able to be placing, you know, the
No light
light bulbs
bulbs.
all the way around.
No light poles proposed?
Correct, yes.
So the board satisfied with the above criteria are met, previously met on the original site plan approval. I recommend favorable action on this project for the contractor yard at 284 West Street.
I got a couple comments. Town engineer is not, is under the weather a little bit, so the word warehousing should be omitted from the building.
Okay,
Bollards for the transformer and a bollard detail should be put in. There is a detail for a concrete walk or a ramp, but it's not on there, so didn't know if there was a reason for it. And you're going to repair the entire lot, the paving on the entire lot?
Yes, the entire lot has to be pulled up and reshaped. And that's shown in pretty good detail in the grading plan.
And the parking calculation is plenty, but for 4 offices and 6 bays is,
Yes, the parking is on the cover sheet, and that is based on employees and the overhead door scenario.
okay, and the other thing was a roof drain detail?
Roof drain detail, I don't believe I have one. Yeah, I'll add that.
That's all on there. Any questions from the boards?
No, the only thing I had a comment on was just with planting up front, just making sure, because I believe that curves away, so that if you're taking a right, you're looking back behind you, so I want to just make sure that your sight distance is not impinged by the landscaping in that front area.
Yeah, so a lot of the landscaping actually put together this plan, and they pulled the trees further this way, and this is all low shrubs that were proposed, but it should be fine.
I guess on that line, it looks like there's just a small proposed sign right at the entry, so it's not going to be along the street in the middle, in the sense in the middle of the property. That's the intention, to keep it that way.
Yeah, it's set back a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. We've had others that have come in, I think, right, have said, oh, after the fact, and realized that they wanted it more front and center.
We've also had others that put them in the highway layout and have to come back, because that's besides the plan.
Yeah, so we tried to pull that back for that issue of pulling out and visibility, sight distance and visibility pulling out, not for their sign.
Yeah,
So
and
that's-
yeah, in a sense, you're good with the sign location, that's why I bring it up.
Yeah.
Said, just if we're
Absolutely.
thinking of moving it to the center and closer to the street, let's take care of that now, but if you're good with it being off the street and where it is, which I have no problem with, we're good there.
Okay, the comments from the fire department are about the no parking in the fire lane. You took care of,
Yes.
that. The water company had no comments, but there's no water, so,
Yeah.
and there's no sewer, so there's no problem there, so.
One more quick question, that's about the site plan. I'm assuming they're looking at just a steel building, kind of.
Correct.
What we see at other contractors around, but it's.
Yep, we're going to do a steel building.
It'll look nice, yeah, excellent. It'll look good.
It's a pleasure of the board.
Questions, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Does this board typically do construction hours for site plan review?
normally on something like this, we wouldn't if it was a huge project with housing around it, then we would do something like that, but normally for a project this size,
Okay.
we wouldn't, especially there's no houses.
There's nothing there, yeah, it's just,
Just raccoons.
Everything I'd recommend 3 conditions, if you're not considering any. The applicant abide by all approvals and conditions from state agencies or the town boards, departments, and commissions, is 1. Second being, the project should be developed in accordance with the approved plan. And the third being, the applicant should submit a 24/36 as-built plan to the planning board once construction is completed. My 3.
Well, the only other condition we have right now is we need the plan up there. I mean, I would do it approved, subject to the town engineer's comments.
Right.
Plus the comments that Matt had. I could make that motion.
Sounds like you did. Was that your motion then? I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded, we approve the site plan with the conditions of the town engineer's comments and the town planner's comments. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, unanimous of 4.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, now we have a public hearing.
So it's just adding the bollards and the details and the roof details.
Thank you.
Okay, on Tuesday, September 16th, at 2025, in Room 3 of the Milford Town Hall, 52 Main Street, the Milford Planning Board at the time will conduct a public hearing regarding the following. Application of the Select Board to amend Section 3.19 of the zoning bylaw related to accessory dwelling units. The full application and maps of the above are available for public inspection in the Office of Planning and Engineering, the Town Hall, 52 Main Street, Milford, 01757, at the following times, Monday and Tuesday, 8 to 4:30, oh yeah, Wednesday, 8 to 6, and Friday, 8 to 11:30. Interested parties may express their thing, and this is being a public hearing.
Public ain't here.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, procedurally,
Yes.
do you declare the hearing open, or does the board vote to open the public hearing?
We just open it. It's-
Okay, so you declare, then we'll go with
Yeah.
that. Okay, thank you.
When we read the thing, that's,
Okay.
okay, as everyone, it has been sent out to us. Everyone looked at it, any comments?
No, I mean, it's effectively that or the highway, so.
I think the idea of having the site plan review should be eliminated. If you're gonna lot on the side of the road and it meets all the zoning requirements, there's no site plan review. If you're gonna put a building or an accessory unit in and it meets all the zoning requirements, there's no need to have a site plan review. It's just duplicating something that's,
Yeah, I think they're looking for a mechanism, because they're not comfortable with the present mechanism, to be able to keep track of them. If that's their choice, that's their choice. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, they apparently want it, I understand what you're saying, but if they want to do it, I don't think it's going to affect our length of our meetings any. It's, going to be a short review, but
Well, especially if
I mean, the only other thing it does, because we know people do some pretty weird things, is it, at an earlier point in time than they may normally get involved, we at least have the ability to say, well, you need to do this, this, and this, and things like that, because we've had people that decide to, as opposed to design build, they build design. So it may preclude some of that to a certain extent, so I don't think it hurts anything.
Yeah, I mean, if there are, it doesn't seem, yeah, in a sense, a lot of people come to us for site plan review if they're within the building code and zoning bylaws, but I understand, yeah, to your point, like, just in case. The only other part of it is, does it come to us just to ensure, are we that last gatekeeper to ensure that they've had their inquiries to the water department, sewer department, and if so, because it still seems like that's still a little bit of gray area where if they need to have a dedicated service in there for both water and sewer, or they can tap off of the existing from the house, depending on the configuration. So sometimes I feel like that, because we are that gate, maybe
Yeah, but
that's why we need
we
it
got
on
no
here.
say on it anyway.
Yeah.
That's the plumbing inspector. He's the guy
Yeah.
who knows the plumbing regulations,
Right.
what we should do, and what they should
Yeah.
do, and what they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
If he says you can do it, then
To that
he
point,
issues the
yeah.
thing, there's no problem.
Okay, because to that point, we've seen them already come in with new services and some come in
Right.
with tapped off of service from
But that's
the
their-
existing house. So it just seems like it's whatever's convenient
Yeah.
as opposed to whatever we feel is in best practice for, for our zoning bylaws and our rules and regulations, so, yeah.
Yeah, thing is, we have no say in it.
Yeah.
We just have a discussion about, a lengthy discussion about nothing.
Yeah, we can't do anything. I mean, if you read the wording, it effectively says you guys can't do anything. Got rid of the word approval. You can, or,
Yeah, so, I mean, it's
it
just-
has to be approved per se, but,
Right.
I mean, as I said, I assume they're doing it as a mechanism to have some form of keeping track of them and trying to get some form of consistency. And I guess at the end of the day, you can probably, I don't know whether they want them or not, I mean, at least they have the plans for them in a place where they may be able to be located in the future.
Mr. Chairman? So when we originally sent this to the select board, section 3.19.1, the way that Larry wrote it was that accessory dwelling units require submittal of a plot plan to accompany building permit applications in accordance with section 1.4.2 herein. So he originally had it where it was just going right to the building commissioner. But council clapped back because of the language we got back from the Attorney General, and they wanted to be consistent with what the Attorney General recommended. So it's really on us how we want to do this. And we can put it in our report to town meeting, and they could ask for a floor amendment or not, but if we want to keep it as is, as town council recommends, great.
Well, I think town council's feeling is that what they put forward is what Attorney General is going to recommend. So
Yeah.
it's like either we do, that's why I said it's either this way or the highway. I mean, if we don't do it, it's going to come back again, and, effectively it means we have absolutely nothing, which at the end of the day isn't all that bad. It's just that I think the town's looking for some mechanism more than just the building department to have a ability to have a running total and to have an idea of where these are and what they are. So, assuming that's the reason, I guess I would vote in favor of it, because other people in town are looking for this type of information going forward. But yeah, I mean, as far as our meeting and what's going to be reviewed, it's minimal.
Exactly.
By the time the plans come to us, they're going to be exactly the way they're supposed to be, so it won't be much for us to look at, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, again, it does force, it does force them to put together some level of plans, because the other thing is, does somebody go forward with something on the back of a napkin? I mean, I think this forces them to at least do a little more than that, which, if they're putting in an auxiliary dwelling unit, they should be able to spend the small amount of money to put in a plan that looks halfway decent.
Yeah, to get a building permit, you have to submit a site plan.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's just a duplication of waste, as far as I'm concerned. It's a waste of time and the people's time. But
Yeah, but to the point
I'm only-
of, if the Attorney General states that that's how this has to proceed, then our hands are in a sense tied by that process.
Well, I don't
So
think the
therefore-
Attorney General, I think that's the town council's,
Is he presuming that that's
yeah.
how it's going to go, or do we scratch it and then we can revise it in the spring or next fall?
Well, what went forward last fall was for it to be site plan review.
Right.
And then they modified it so that it could be a more lax version of site plan review. They didn't even consider taking that out completely. So if that's something that this board wants to do or not do, I think we could, because it's within the regulations, the state that, what I understand is, if you can't do it for a single-family home, you can't do it for an ADU. So if you require site plan approval for a single-family home, then you can require it for an ADU, but not the other way around. So we don't require site plan review for a single-family home, we shouldn't be able to require it for an ADU. That's just my opinion. But that's the way I read the regulations anyway.
Well, I mean, based on the fact that we don't know the answer to that, you know, I guess I make a motion to send a favorable recommendation to town meeting. That being said, it may be worthwhile, Matt, for you to have a conversation with council, town administrator, and say, do we really need this? I mean, part of this may have come from even us back then, that we wanted to make sure that people were doing this stuff the right way, based on the fact of what the Attorney General's office now says. Do you guys actually really want to do this? And if not, they can obviously, we can pass over it, or they can pass over it at town meeting. But at least this way, we've got it forward. If they say, no, we really want to do this, then my feeling is that that's their call, and I don't have an issue with it. I don't think it does much as far as us, but I'm not gonna sit here and say, no, I don't want to do it.
Well, we, right now, it's in there, we either have to give it a favorable or a negative,
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying,
thing.
I'm
And then
making,
we could make, you could make an amendment at the town meeting to have it taken out.
no, they can just pass over it. There's nothing in there now.
So there's four sections that were modified. 3.191, which is site plan review, and then 3.195 shall comply with section 2.5 intensity use schedule, that's for minimum lot requirements, that had to be amended. And then the additional parking space required unless it's more than a half-mile radius from a transit station, that was council. And then 3.198 is also a modification that had to be done. So those three, I don't think we have any issues with. It's really just the first one that we're tossing back and forth. So passing over it would eliminate those three also. So we can't really do that.
Right,
Well, I think transit, yeah, I don't think transit, there is no transit station, so I mean, that was the Attorney General not knowing where Milford was when they made the
yeah,
declaration.
and then as you look up the definition for a transit station, a stop for the buses is not
It's
considered,
not,
considered a transit station.
that's what I'm saying, there is no transit station in
Yeah.
Milford, so the comment made zero sense whatsoever.
When it first came out, the idea was that every bus stop, every stop that the bus made was considered a stop.
Yeah.
And a thing, but now with the definitions being changed or being straightened out, that's there. Again, we can do it, and I feel we should amend it and have it taken out make an amendment and take it out at the town meeting. We can't take it out now.
Is the warrant article, it's not locked, though, we can still make changes.
No,
No, we have to give a
It is locked.
recommendation on this.
no, we're just giving a recommendation, we're not making, we can't change it. Then, like I said, then we'd have to,
Well, that's why, I mean, I think that's, to me, that's their call as to what they're looking at at the end of the day.
yeah, they're calling, we gotta do it.
Yeah, for how long it takes us, I'm not gonna worry about it.
Well, I see more discussion going on site plans, on sewer, water, and everything else. Taking
Well, I think that
forever.
was only because at the time that we did it, there was a good amount of no one knowing what anybody wanted at that point in time. I don't think that's gonna be an ongoing thing.
Okay. Well, you made the,
Is it,
I made the motion to send a favorable to town meeting. I had asked Matt outside of it to go back and just find out, but effectively the motion is to send a
Yeah.
favorable to town meeting.
I'll second that.
we moved in second, we say, send a favorable recommendation to the town meeting. All those in favor? 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay. Let's see what we got. East Coast is not here. Special permit residential animals at 12 West Street.
Yes, sir, this is a referral. Request a special permit to allow residential animals. Zoning bylaw provides such uses for a ZBA special permit in the RA zoning district. Address of the properties shown on the plan. Proposals for 6 hens for personal use only as a non-commercial entity. Proposal includes construction of a coop on the property using standard materials for coop construction. So all relevant zoning requirements appear to be met. However, the coop location may be within inside one of actually, there's 2 front setbacks here, I think. No, sorry, the rear yard setback. Rear yard setback, sorry, I was thinking of a different one. Rear yard setback. So the planning board should defer to the ZBA for its jurisdiction over the matter, but otherwise recommend a favorable report to the ZBA, provided the applicant abides by all rules and regulations of the Milford Board of Health.
Again, I don't like them in R8 zone to begin with, but at a minimum, the coop, to me, the coop should meet rear and side yard setbacks. Not where they show it, but that would be my only comment, barring neighbors showing up.
Do you know what those setbacks are supposed to be off the top? I didn't really go that far, but I thought 10 to
10 on
15.
the side.
Yeah,
15 in the back?
I think.
yeah. It's all right, man. I looked quickly, didn't see it. But yeah, 3.5 feet and 1.6 is probably not gonna cut it.
No.
Well, because it's a coop, it doesn't meet building code, it doesn't meet the
Right.
size of anything,
Because
so they could go half the distance or all. My feeling is it should meet full, regardless of what it is or what type of structure it is, it should meet the setback requirements.
Full,
Yes.
Yeah.
make
I just want to make sure there was no other discussion, but I guess we can. So I'll motion to send a favorable report to the ZBA for 12 West Street under the condition that they meet the appropriate setbacks.
They meet,
full.
they meet the full setback requirements for the coop.
Setbacks.
Only because if you meet the required, it could be considered a shed, and you get into the half distances that are allowable and stuff.
Required setbacks.
I also want to add a piece about the rules and regulations for the Milford Board of Health.
The,
Part of the motion.
I have no problem with that. Yeah, I mean, that's
It
gonna be.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, then they're gonna have to
The
abide by
Board of Health
that.
will require that no matter what, when they go.
Yep. But we can add to that
Okay.
as part of the letter going to the ZBA.
Okay, next we got the,
Vote.
I got the motion.
oh, yeah, sure. The rest of this. Moved,
I'll second that.
it's moved and seconded, we send a favorable recommendation to the zoning board with the recommendation of full zoning setbacks for the coop, rear and side setback for the coop. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 4. Okay, now we go to the general bylaw amendment for the stormwater bylaw.
So with Liz not being here, we're gonna have to table this to our next meeting, because this came from a consultant that she was working on, and I don't know anything about it right now, so. I haven't had a chance to read this entire thing, I just got it on Monday, so.
Okay, standard conditions, draft,
Yeah, so this is something I'm putting, kind of a draft for us to consider. Some standard conditions, so when we approve projects, we can just say, approve with standard conditions 2 and 4, or any additional conditions that you want to add. I added these for subdivisions, site plans, and special permits on the reverse page, with the findings as part of the regulation. Just want to know if you had any comments about this, or if there's anything I should add or change, or if this is a good idea, or if it's not a good idea. Just want to see the pulse of the board on this. What would end up happening is you'd get a laminated copy of this for each meeting to read off whatever conditions you're looking for. It's just a helpful thing. Two-sided laminated copy on cardstock.
The only thing is, if you had, I don't know when you had this done, but if you could send it out so we could read it at home
Sure.
and
Yeah, we can table this the next meeting as well. I just want to introduce it at least, something that we can consider.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
yeah.
I like it.
Great.
No, again, it's not that I'm against it, it's just, I like to be able to sit down and think it out as I'm reading it.
I'll send this out separate tomorrow.
Okay. And next we get the town planners updates.
Yeah, so we talked about Gomes Way and the hydrant location last meeting. So I added kind of the email correspondence that went back and forth between the fire department, the water department, and the developer. And so what they ended up doing, and I have a picture on my phone, but it's probably not, I'm gonna be able to find it quick enough. They ended up putting 2 hydrants in. One in the original spot, and then in the back of the cul-de-sac, and the one where the fire department wanted it. So there are now 2. So we ended up getting both anyway. But I just wanted to show you the chain of correspondence that went back and forth between myself and the developers. But next time, these will come right to you.
I happened to talk to the Jeff from the water department. They will allow, they wouldn't have minded putting a small hydrant in with the 2.5 inch, but it was like 3 months out to get one. So Dominic just said, put the other one in. I was shocked at the price of a hydrant. I used to buy hydrants $750. $4,000.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Last I had known, it was like
Yeah.
$700-800. I mean, it's not as, to a certain extent, it's not
And
as
even-
critical now.
Even the smaller one was $3,000.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, you know, an extra hydrant's an extra cost for the town downstream because we were renting them, but that's no longer.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, that would have cost us
Whatever they
an
were
extra
charging.
$400 a year or something for the, I think we were paying for like $350 when it,
Yeah, I don't know what the, for,
$350.
and I mean, effectively for no good reason
Right.
for us. But
Okay,
thanks for following up on that,
Sure
Matt.
thing. The only thing left is to set our meeting schedule for October. Not on the agenda, but the next meetings would be
second and, first and third.
the 7th and 21st.
I'll miss them both.
World travel.
So we have 3
I'll be
weeks
here.
in between. Next meeting, 10/7.
Yeah, if anybody comes in with plans though, Matt, that way you know in case, you know, depending on what's needed and stuff, people may not want to come before 4 members in case it's a majority need, or super majority needed or whatever, that way they know.
So with the general bylaw, there is a placeholder on the town meeting, but with all this here to describe it, I don't really have a whole lot
Yeah.
of information for you guys tonight.
We got time before the town meeting anyway.
Yeah, it's, the meeting's on the 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one more meeting.
Yeah, this-
Next meeting is
7th,
7th, you won't, but you had no real, okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to adjourn?
Second that?
Moved and seconded, we adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? 4. Good night, good evening.